right, let's get straight to the dailies. Mr. Wale Fatade, the commissioning editor of The Conversation Africa, joins us right here in our Lagos City. Mr. Fatade, always a pleasure to see you here.
Good to see you too, Jeffrey.
Let's get straight to
Bukola, and good to see you.
Yeah, let's get straight to the dailies. Of course, the dailies are screaming literally the same thing. So let's start with this Nigeria, apt on this. Fubara back, curtain closes on emergency rule. Fubara back, curtain closes on emergency rule. Declaring emergency painful, inevitable, says Tinubu, urges all to work together for progress of state. Wike Lord's president warns crisis profiteers to stay off rivers. Mr. Fatade.
I like the sub-editor who crafted that headline. But I'm not sure the curtain has actually closed on emergency rule. And I was watching your introductory remarks. It was President Obasanjo in 2004 in Plateau State when he suspended the governor too. And Section 305 is actually silent on whether the president has the power to remove the governor or not. But there's another lacuna in the way this one was done. The National Assembly was supposed to give a stamp of authority or approval on that process. And the Constitution actually stipulates that there must be 2/3 majority of the votes. But in this instance, it was voice vote. And that's a major issue. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but legal experts can speak about that. I do not think that a voice vote satisfied that constitutional requirement. And that's important. So, but that's, by the way, speaking to the Constitution. For Governor Fubara, I think it was one of these past days I was watching you guys, whereby you ask somebody that what advice will he give to Governor Fubara? I think if I were to meet Governor Fubara, I would just say, come back after 6 months or by December, just resign. Because he's severely amputated as a governor. I don't know how he hopes to do it. And I don't know the kind of sagacity or the kind of powers or the kind of wisdom, maybe the one that God gives, the Solomonic type. There are major landmines on his way. But it's good that democracy at certain level is back in Rivers State. I've been following events in the state now. It appears everybody is ready to work together. But I think the statement credited to former Governor Wike must be tongue-in-cheek, whereby he's saying that those who profit from the crisis, I think he has been the greatest profiteer. He has won majorly. Yeah.
They caused the crisis. So that, let's put it in context. Himself and the governor, and the members of the House of Assembly.
Yeah, but you and I know you can stimulate the crisis, or you can simulate it.
They are the crisis.
Yeah.
The president tried to what do you call it now? Resolve that crisis.
Supposedly.
And then even got the president into more trouble.
Yeah, but then as far as in the House, you know, this concept of African way, which is more, I know that of Yoruba culture, is like that in every part of Nigeria, whereby when you resolve dispute, you don't, there is no winner, there is no loser.
No victim of anguish.
Yeah, the president did not do that. A particular side won more.
Yeah, I don't want to argue their politics. Let them do their politics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
yeah.
Well, as you said, Jeffrey, the papers are pretty much on the same page as far as the front pages are concerned. And looking at Daily Independent, you would see that that's what exactly it leads with. As Fubara Assembly resume, Tinubu defends emergency, and the host of writers there says he would have failed rather if he didn't take action, warns governors, state assemblies to work together. And there's more if you pick up Daily Independent. No, but Mr. Fatade, you said something instructive.
Which one?
The statement credited to the Honourable Minister, Nyesom Wike.
Oh yeah, when he said that those who profit from the crisis.
Profiteer.
He made the greatest profit.
You know, but you're taking a critical look at Mr. President's
effectively
speech.
Is the governor now, whether de jure or de facto.
Yeah, taking a critical look at Mr. President's speech on the return of state of emergency, Mr. Wike is visibly absent in the mention of Mr. President, as it was during the declaration of the state.
Yeah, but that speech was written by some of our past colleagues or fellow colleagues. So public communication is designed to achieve something.
Because
sometimes it does not speak to the reality.
He never distanced himself from the conflict while it lasted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you mean?
You mean the president or Mr. Wike? Please, I didn't get that.
Mr. Wike.
Yeah, he did not. He never pretended, and I like him for that. That does not mean I'm his admirer, but I like him owning up to his statement, fronting up to whatever he believes in. But I think that at a certain time, you must stop behaving like this bull in the China shop. so that you don't just, if you win, at what cost? What exactly happens? By the time there have been people who have been governors and they are no longer in reckoning in political setup today, what happens if this APC government is no longer in power? What does he hope to do in that river state? There will be people in that state, former political gladiators or actors, who are no longer in reckoning now. So post-APC government, let's assume that the APC government comes back 2027, maximum 4 years, 2031, what happens to a wiki? These are questions none of us here should answer for him. They are questions meant for him.
Definitely. I'm not even going to attempt to do that.
Yeah, none of us here is a spokesperson.
I'm not going to attempt to do that. Vanguard newspaper, Mr. Fatade, also leads with the same story. No surprises there. Excitement, as on the front page of the Vanguard, excitement as Tinubu ends emergency rule in Rivers, restores Fubara. You know, the whole ride is that we've seen time and again. But
that is such a boring day in the newsroom.
But I want to show you something, Mr. Fatade. Okay. The last paragraph of the president's statement. Well, not the last paragraph, maybe the second to the last, where he said, I take this opportunity to remind the governors and the houses of assembly of all the states of our country to continue to appreciate that it is only in an atmosphere of peace, order, and good governance that we can deliver the dividends of democracy to our people. I implore all of you to let this realization drive your actions at all times. Is this some veiled threat that I've done for Rivers?
You can implement it that way. You know that headmaster, and I'm sure my mother is watching this now, the retired headmistress holding the cane, you leave the cane on the dining table. Usually those days she serves ogi in the morning, something I never liked taking. So she just leave the cane on the table. So what does that tell you? If you don't take this ogi, Adewale, you know what is coming. So that's, without saying anything, she served the ogi, she just put the cane on the table. So saying that everybody behave very well. Yeah, just behave very well. And you know, it could be interpreted at that level. But the other level for me, which my own take would be, I wish the president turned that mirror to himself too. And I wish he speaks that to the people in Katsina State, where we've seen bandits trotting along with rifles on their chest. He speaks that to the people in Zamfara State. He speaks that to the people in Plateau State. That is the only progress that can come in an atmosphere of peace. So the buck stops on the president's table too. Physician should heal himself.
There's Borno State as well.
And Borno State as well. So he should tell that to himself. Apart from the veiled threat, as it were, to other governors, to other governors in the state, in the nation, the president should tell himself that too. That progress can only come in an atmosphere of peace.
You know, as we go to the next day, you know, sometimes it's difficult for certain people to understand the rule of law when it comes to these things, and that's why we keep re-emphasizing.
Or we speak about the rule of law when it does not concern us. But when it concerns us, we resort to anarchy.
When it doesn't work for them, it's not good. When it's worked for them, it's good. Yeah.
So we cherry pick that aspect of the Constitution.
So we leave politicians to be politicians at the end of the day. But it's important that we use this opportunity to drive home that message. That no elected official is accountable, not a governor, not a house, what do you call it now, local government chair.
Local government chair.
Is accountable to a president. They are accountable to
the electorate, to those who elect
and those electorate are in the House of
them.
Assembly. Just like the president of our country is not accountable to ECOWAS or AU or UN or Russia, anybody, is accountable to us through our House of Assembly. Yeah. It is us that will say, we don't want you, or no, we insist you must stay here. Because if we do not put this in record, I pray we don't get to one point where we have a truly reckless president who will walk around the fine lines of the law.
But we have seen different precedents since this democratic experiment started in 1999, defining their presidency a different way, more of a personalized democratic experience. So you can't really say this is what you are going to get. It's as how President Jeffrey wants to operate, or President
I don't want to be one, by the way.
No problem.
It's too stressful.
Okay, let's say President Bukola.
Fantastic.
Some of the presidents we've had have made these statements too. So I don't want to.
Nigeria is a lot of work.
And after a while, I said the people told me to run.
I was talking,
my people said.
I was in a discussion with a former governor, senator, and we were asking him that, just informal, we are not intervening, that why don't you want to be president? Others are contesting. And you know, he said something that I will not forget. He said, look, Wale, if you know those who can make me president, tell me. that in Nigeria you don't become president unless some people want to make you president.
That's instructive. All right, let's go to the Guardian newspaper. God, I wanted to say something. Okay.
I'm just wondering about the contradiction, that obtains around the current president because of his democratic credentials, particularly, as we approached democracy from military rule, so...
What credentials?
Well, fought for democracy, and we refer
like all
to
of us
that
do, like some of us.
Rigorously.
Yeah, those of us in the newsroom those days, we did that. We were part of the battle. Yeah.
Yeah. And the lessons to be learned.
But we have
it.
seen contradiction in those ideas he professed that time and what we are seeing now.
Okay, the Guardian is the next one. Doubts, uncertainty in Rivers, as you said. You say newsroom will be boring today.
Oh yeah, it's one of those that.
Uncertainty in Rivers.
All of us will dance in the same direction.
Uncertainty in Rivers, power tussle as Fubara returns. So we have the picture of President Bola Tinubu, Ibokete, Vice Admiral Ibokete Bas, whom I want to only remember for his work as a military man. I don't remember anything about what he did in Rivers State. Willie Martins is
that's selective perception.
Yeah, it's deliberate. I'm a Democrat to the core, so I don't know where he
But history will record his 6 months in Rivers.
It's a bad spot on our history books. But the big one here is uncertainty in Rivers power tussle, which is the bigger problem. Somebody said peace may have returned if there was chaos in the first place. But that peace was not orchestrated by maybe Bass or whatever. Because it is these same actors, Nyesom Wike, Sim Fubara, Martins Amewule, who are the vanguard of it, that brought us into this crisis, that are still there now. And it's a fragile situation they all have on their hands, given that Fubara politically has been encircled. Are you worried for him? Are you worried about the state of this part also? Or you see, it's just going to lame duck through this out of respect for the president.
What's that saying again, that if you ride the back of tiger, is it the tail of the tiger, you end up in its belly? You said something jocularly the other time that you don't want to be president. When you accept poison chalice, you have to live with the indigestion thereafter. So Mr. Fubara, he doesn't have my sympathy. Well, because if you cast our minds back, how did he emerge?
That's another kettle of fish.
Well, how was it primarily? People, we are chroniclers of history.
All right, Mr. Father, fantastic point. For us, we're not interested in anything than the rule
so
of law.
let him eat his supper by himself.
It's the rule of law we're interested in. Deborah Balama, our correspondent in Port Harcourt, is standing by. We understand, Deborah, you are at the government house. Where exactly? Inside the government house? Outside the government house? Around the government house? Deborah?
Good morning, Joe, and the rest of the team in the studio. So I am actually at the car park right beside Government House. As you can see right behind me, there are a crowd of people gathering gradually. I spoke with some of them just before coming live, and they said that they are here to welcome Governor Fubara back into office after 6 whole months. You are aware of the story, what played out in River State on the 18th of March, 2025. The president announced the state of emergency in River State and suspended the governor, his deputy, and the members of the House of Assembly. And just yesterday, at the expiration, only a day to the expiration of the 6-month suspension, it was lifted. And the president said they can now resume as peace has returned to River State. So this morning, yesterday, it was a little bit calm. I went out, what's going on? People didn't come out. I didn't notice much. Seems like they didn't know what had happened. But surprisingly, this morning, there is a crowd of people gathering at Government House gradually. I understand that they are from the 23 local government areas of River State. And when I spoke with them, a lot of them seemed very excited. They cannot wait to see the governor. A lot of them actually told me off camera that it's been long awaited, as they think that democratic rule will help projects strike and other things in River State.
Indeed, Deborah, and we can also see that where you are appears very busy. What can you tell us about, government officials that you may have cited, either at the government house where you are, or even at the State Assembly, And how soon will we see Governor Fubara appear at the Government House?
Just before now, I ran into the former chairman of Emma of our local government, Perigi, and we spoke, and he said, well, they're expecting the governor to turn up. What I noticed, a lot of political appointees, like the former local government chairman, some other people, but there are a lot of strange faces here that I don't know. And I'm presuming that some of them are just basically people like the governor. Some of them do not actually, are not affiliated to politics from my discussion with them. Some of them said they headed over the radio and they just turned up this morning here. While I've seen scanty faces of politicians that I know around here, from the government house, there is no word exactly. But my discussions with some of the political authorities, of course, the governor would likely turn up. They are not sure the governor would likely turn up this morning to work. Well, we don't know if case is definitely going to turn up with him. But when I spoke with them, they are certain to some extent that the governor will turn up on work this morning. That is actually what it is as of now.
And well, it's quite interesting to see those people gathered. You say they're there to welcome Governor Fubara back after the 6-month suspension. But maybe we can speak about the outgone sole administrator now, because there were reports around when he left office yesterday that there was some sort of, was it a protest or disagreement or what have you? What do you know about that, really, Deborah? There, so let's try to do this one more time. I'm saying, what do you know about the reported protests, security officials that were said to have protested yesterday, or there was some disagreement, or what have you, over the exit of the sole administrator? There were some reports around that, and videos were making the rounds. Perhaps you might want to clarify what you know about that.
I'm trying to hear you because the drums are already played here. But if I got something to say the security situation, if I got that clearly, at the government house, I must say that security is not as tight as it was after the declaration of state of emergency. It seems calm. A few policemen, and then, of course, the normal armored vehicle is parked outside the government house. But not much tension. Everything just seems calm, aside from the crowd gathering more and more people coming in. That's just what it seems like for now.
But was there a protest? Yeah, I'm going to take it again quickly. Was there a protest by security officials attached to the sole administrator yesterday? Did you hear about that?
No word on that concerning that. But I heard rumors say that there were certain issues, you know, but I can't really confirm them because I didn't quite hear from the government.
Right.
So that's what it's saying.
Right. Thank you very much, Deborah. It's going to be a very busy day, clearly. We can see all of the activities behind you. So please get back to us as soon as you get more, particularly the resumption of Governor Fubara in office.
Keep the studio updated as the events unfold. I don't know how much crowd we're expecting here more, but every minute that takes, the crowd seems to be gathering more and more. So it seems like Rivers people are turning up in large numbers to welcome their governor and his deputy back into office.
Fantastic. Deborah Balama, correspondent. Thank you so much. Mr. Fatade, before we let you go, so just say what's playing. I understand that the House of Assembly will be sitting by 10 a.m. today. I don't know whether the entirety, they are divided into two. The 3 now against the 26 or 27. The Supreme Court said everybody should work together. So your last thoughts on this before we let you go.
Well, I think it's quite interesting that based on what we've just seen, the people of Rivers, especially those of them in Port Harcourt, they are still backing their governor. So long may that continue. Maybe with that, he might be able to ride the storm.
So, Fatade, always a pleasure coming here to help us with your great insight as far as the polity is concerned. Mr. Wale Fatade is a journalist, commissioning editor, The Conversation Africa. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
A pleasure.
All right, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to a senior advocate of Nigeria. We'll be bringing legal perspective to all of these issues. Join us again.